Well, Manchester United INEOS have lined up replacements for Ruben Amorim if at all things continue to worsen at the club of Manchester United and it doesn't turn around the results. We all know to it that if you are a manager managing any club, whether it's in Africa, Asia or what, however small it is, if you don't really put out results, you know your fate. It's obviously sucking you out of that club. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys? I know you're watching us from second video of the day. And this story is coming in through from a man who has been really very accurate. And guess what? He has gone ahead to drop a story about Amorim's replacements that have been lined up by INEOS. And I think, obviously, if I'm in Kampala, Uganda, and something like sacking crosses my mind, that means that even a manager like Ruben Amorim has to be living on borrowed time at the club of Manchester United. Not so, because INEOS are really good at hiring and firing quickly. They are trigger happy. You knew that when they really did it to Eric Ten Hag. So smash the like button, comment and share, and continue to subscribe to this channel because we want to hit 22,000 subscribers. And if you really want to see to it that we really hit that, go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this YouTube channel. Now, this comes after Manchester United went ahead to obviously do the needful and really got knocked out by Grimsby into or from the Carabao Cup second round, and it is really speaking volumes. The manager went ahead to arrive at Carrington at 7 a.m. and the players arrived at 11 a.m. No resting. After you lose a game, he's like, we've lost and you guys want to rest. No rest. You haven't gone ahead to give you a reason to rest because a team known as Grimsby has gone ahead to knock you out. So that is how desperate Ruben Amorim is, and I know a lot has been looked through at the Carrington, and the guy known as Ruben Amorim is really having pressure mild on him. And this so-called story that has been dropped by Indy Kyler, I think it's obviously going to be piling more pressure onto the manager, because you understand that now they are really looking in for your replacements in there. Now, Indy says, according to our sources within INEOS group who control the football side at Manchester United, there is a short list in place if they end up making the decision to sack Ruben Amorim. We understand two of the names on the official list are Olivier Glasner and Andoni Iraola. Now, hear this out. The statement says, if United end up making a decision to sack Ruben Amorim. Have you heard of that? If United end up making a decision, meaning that they haven't gone ahead to make up a decision, but that won't stop them from obviously sitting in the board to discuss who is going to be the next manager for the club of Manchester United in a nick of an eye. You understand? So that's exactly what you're really having in here onto the United Matters channel. United have gone ahead obviously start scouting for the replacements of Ruben Amorim. You understand? And these names that have gone ahead to appear are not new names, onto the list of those that have been linked to Manchester United. We've gone ahead to see to it that all the managers that United were almost looking at to replace Eric Ten Hag have gone ahead to obviously find themselves really getting big jobs. De Zerbi, who was at Brighton, is really looking in for, is now managing Marseille in France. One, you can talk about Thomas Frank now managing Tottenham Hotspur. You can talk about Kieran McKenna, I think is still with Ipswich. Gareth Southgate, jobless. The other one that is being looked at hugely goes by the names of, that was being looked at hugely was Thomas Tuchel, who's now the England national team manager. You understand? So, Olivier Glasner is the manager of a team called Crystal Palace. And last season, he has really gone ahead to win a trophy. and that is the FA Cup by beating Man City. And you know, when it comes to Manchester United and Man City, any manager who comes out and really beats City can obviously find himself into a very huge position to really win the job of Manchester United. I think it's one of the grounds that Man United had to obviously benchmark on when they're obviously getting in Ruben Amorim. Remember, Ruben Amorim, while at Sporting Lisbon, had to beat City by 4-1. And moreover, I think City took the lead and Ruben Amorim came and really beat them badly. So, if Glasner has gone ahead to obviously beat Man City in the FA Cup finale, then United will obviously look at him hugely, because they'll be like, he doesn't have the players like we have at Manchester United. That means if we get him in players that are at like Manchester United, that means he can dismantle City, he can dismantle Arsenal, he can dismantle Chelsea, he can dismantle Liverpool, and many more. And in this particular season, he has gone ahead to obviously draw with Chelsea into his opener. That is Glasner for you. And moreover, he has gone ahead to lose Ebelechi Eze. So that guy is really good, and he's really one of those that has European experience, and I think he stands a huge chance ahead of Areola if at all the man known as Ruben Amorim is to be shown his exit door, and he might be the next guy to come in. And if I told you Oliver Glasner, this is an opportunity you cannot turn down. That is it. It's an opportunity that you cannot turn down, and you only say, God, thank you very much. It's now the chance that I really wanted that you've gone ahead to provide to me, and I'm obviously gonna be utilizing it to the fullest. That is what we talk about in here, about Olivier Glasner. I think he's the best placed candidate. But Andoni is a manager of Bournemouth. You know, when you look at his tactics that he's been using, he's really all over the place. So he's a Spanish guy who comes from the Basque, and he has gone ahead to put in a huge performance at Bournemouth. I tell you, huge performance at Bournemouth, and he's one of those that has gone ahead to obviously do the needful, and the needful has resulted into the side of Bournemouth really being into the Premier League and really turning out players like Semenyo to be one of the best players in the Premier League, and very many clubs are really interested in him. So he's a manager and a coach, you know. Their managers, like Sir Alex Ferguson, was not a coach. He was a manager, and he really went ahead to bring in coaches below him. But in Olivier Glasner and Areola, you'd have a manager and a coach. A coach is this kind of person who will obviously be able to come out and obviously tell the players what to do, improve them, you know. But a manager will obviously just sit up there and really manage the team, and these other assistant coaches will come in through and really take the players through the coaching drills. Even when it comes to the fine game, like the main game when they're really playing on the pitch, he gets the tactics from the assistant managers from him, you know. But this is really very special, and I tell you what, it's really one of those moments that we'll see to it that a lot really goes our way. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. That is Oliver Glasner for you. Man United looking in at him as one of the replacements to replace Ruben Amorim in there. Then for us, that Glasner is the name currently being talked about the most within the boardroom, and our understanding is that Glasner would be delighted with the opportunity to take the job at Old Trafford once it is available. Obviously, if you're Olivier Glasner, you have the experience, and no one can obviously stop you from really taking this job. When you look at Oliver Glasner, if you've been following him up for some time, he's a man who is really having the experience. Australian in there, and he's 51 years of age. You know, he's a football manager in the Premier League, and he has been the Australian Bundesliga, and he's really one of those that is ready for the big job. And United are really doing this because they haven't gone ahead, obviously, signing in a manager from the Premier League ever since they really got in David Moyes. Most of the managers have been signed outside the Premier League. Louis van Gaal, never Premier League manager. Jose Mourinho was a Premier League manager, but by the time they really signed him, he was not in the Premier League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not a Premier League manager, but he had some vast Premier League experience, as he was one of the Premier League players that went down in history and came to obviously scoring goals off the bench. Then they brought in Erik ten Hag from the Eredivisie, and now we have Ruben Amorim from Portugal, meaning that they haven't obviously gone ahead to try out managers that are really performing in the Premier League. And by the way, why they should look at managers who are really playing in the Premier League or managing the Premier League is, look at what Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to do at the club of Arsenal, And he was not a head coach. He was just the assistant manager to Pep Guardiola. Look at Maresca, assistant coach to Pep Guardiola, goes to the Championship, brings back Leicester, and he obviously found himself in a position of really playing, of really managing Chelsea, and see where Chelsea are right about now. So, Eddie Howe, you see what he's doing at Newcastle. I think he was at Bournemouth and came in through at Newcastle. He's really doing wonders. Thomas Frank at Tottenham Hotspur, 2 games played, I think 2 wins, even beating City. So I think that really triggers United from looking no further other than a manager in the Premier League. I think we need a manager who really has Premier League experience. And when you look at Olivier Glasner, he's one of the managers that found himself managing SV Raid from 2014 to 2015. Then he managed Lasker 2015, 2019. Then Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga 2019-2021, then Frankfurt 2021-2023. So he was at Frankfurt, and I think when he was at Frankfurt, he even went ahead to win the UEFA Europa League. Let me see. UEFA Europa League winners, in his last season there, that is 2023. I think it was none other than Frankfurt. Not so? The winners who won the UEFA Europa League in 2023, Sevilla, Roma. I think Eintracht Frankfurt went ahead, obviously put in a very huge shift in there for you sometimes, So that is exactly what I can tell you. He really played very well, and that's why United are hugely considering him to come in through and really take over the job. And I really take him in. But let's first give Ruben Amorim time. Let's first give him some good 10 games. Let's see how he can transform Man United in the first 10 games of the Premier League. That is it. So we are waiting to see how things will pan out for the side of Manchester United as far as Ruben Amorim is really concerned. And he now knows that replacements have been lined up for him and his job is now under threat. And that means he's now expendable. The honeymoon is over. If he doesn't turn things around in the next games, starting with the game of Burnley over the weekend, my manager will no longer be at Manchester United. But there is another one who can act as a wild card, and they're telling us that there has been long-standing interest in Gareth Southgate as well, but INEOS also have concerns about backlash from the club's fans over hiring the former England boss. Obviously, there is a manager that I don't want to hear his name close to Manchester United. It's Gareth Southgate, and even fans are not in unison to obviously see him manage the club of Man United. He's a mate to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and a mate to the other guy, Brentford. Is it called Brentford? The other guy of INEOS that really went ahead to obviously leave Man United a little bit some time back. And I don't want to see him at the club of Manchester United. I don't even want to see his name really in queue of those that are really going to become the next managers for the club of Manchester United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rock and David is my name. That's the story we had in for today's second video of the day. Amorim replacements lined up. That is it. And it's real. As you know, the moment they obviously hire you, the moment they start looking for your replacements in there for you. That's what competent clubs really do. Amorim has a chance to obviously ease off this pressure of himself by winning against Burnley over the weekend at Old Trafford. And I think when you go to the preseason, I was going to bargain that win. He's having two difficult games against Chelsea and Man City, meaning that the only way he can find himself in a position of really going to those games without pressure on him is by doing the needful, beating Burnley over the weekend, and that is Saturday. The match preview will be up tomorrow, will be up onto this channel, that is tomorrow, and hope you guys will enjoy it. And thank you for obviously watching in through. Rock and David is the name, and I'm here to obviously prepare you the third story of the day. And please continue to subscribe because we want to hit 22,000 subscribers onto this United Matters channel. Do you think Ruben Amorim should be given a sack or he should be given time? For me, you know my stance. Since Erik ten Hag, I want a manager at Man United to be given 5 fucking years to be here. And I would love to see Amorim here for 5 fucking years. I know, Team Amorim out, it will obviously perturb you and really agitate you, but I don't think that you are really on the right course. The right course is to keep a manager here, though INEOS are really trigger happy to obviously sack a manager if he doesn't change his results in the next 2, 3, 4 games. And remember, United sack managers on games like those of Burnley, because if City beats you, Chelsea, that's not a sackable offense. But when Burnley really beats you, it's always a sackable offense. Ciao, ciao.